around. I'm pulling up this Kumo doc really quick. Your relationship web. Oh god, you did make it bigger! Oh god! Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Oh, I found that you could color code. Like, I found you can enable a legend. So you labeled Chan Chao as the old magistrate. That's cool. You can get the legend to appear, but not like directly by the token. From what I've been looking to, like it appears in the corner once you enable it. You have to go into settings and then color by description, or all right. So last time, I think I just talked to Chen Chao a lot. I think.
Didn't I fight someone? I felt like I felt like I was okay. So this was the first fight where I ever got hit back. So I was like, "Oh fuck, I'm doing terribly." But I guess that's what it's supposed to happen. Yeah.
Oh, you also showed up at the fucking auspicious pedal, soaked in blood.
Yeah, I just fucking got back and oh yeah, because that woman it ended because a blade hit a woman and I ran over to her and like got her to a doctor or whatever and her blood got all over me and then I just showed up at the pleasure house like, hey. Okay.
And then Sparrow talked. He went to the library?
I tried to get a bunch of nerds to give me a book and it didn't work.
Yeah, I remember that. And the people at the front were just like, no, we can't let you in.
And then you tried to give me life advice.
No, those were more like veiled threats that everything's gonna come crashing down on our heads.
Oh, great. Well, no, you were definitely saying stuff about like the past and being your own person and stuff. And then vague uncertainty and dread.
It's more like I'm fairly certain you're about to pull us into nonsense. We should probably try to work with that as fast as possible.
Nonsense me? No. Cool. Oh my god, the chain of people I need to go through to meet White Tiger.
Hold on, let me get this skin. Holy sweet Jesus.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Where?
Ooh, winter salamander. Give me that picture. Oh. Ooh, the salamanders are snacks. Nice.
Let's talk about Third Hammer Duke and whatever the fuck he is wielding.
Oh my god. That is, I can tell you, Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah.
I played as that character. Yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure Dai is just Link, like a Link costume that looks like Link.
Hey, look, there's all the courtesans.
Yay, courtesans!
I have 2 extensions. I have Grievous Distance, and I'm guessing that's the name of the cute Shy Scholar person.
Oh my god, her little glasses!
Yeah, very, very
incredible. Good casting. Good casting.
Also,
Yeah.
Grievous Distance does look like a badass.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, so there's the Eagle's Talons, and there's Eastern Sunrise. Who's Eastern Sunrise again?
Eastern Sunrise and Iron Arm Kefu are the 2 of the Eagle Talons who are here in town.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so I believe last we left, you would come back to the auspicious pedal. Now, specifically, before other things sort of happened, like you kind of had like the next day and such, did anyone have any particular plans of things that they were going to be accomplishing relatively soon after last time?
I think Pale Orchid's plan was to collapse on the bed and possibly get it stained in blood as well.
No, that's not gonna happen. I can tell you that right now.
I'm just looking at the kung fu battle that happens just on trying to collapse onto the bed.
Oh my god.
That's such a fucking film. Just, I want to go to sleep. No, I'm gonna fight you so you can't go.
Sleepy style, just like falling on people.
Just see Jackie Chan just trying to like fall into a bed, and someone like just like pouncing him back up.
God. I was probably going to like try to get some more information on Western White Tiger. Like, I said I would go find him, but also I am running this pleasure house. Like, I'm not about to just leave. So try and gather as much information within Magnificent Inc. as I can, and also follow up on the corrupt eunuchs.
Okay, yeah, like it'll be. That's one of those things you can kind of ask around. The nice thing is you get a lot of. I don't know if nobility is the right word or administrative. What they would have there. Did China back then kind of have nobility outside of the emperor, or was it?
I do not know enough.
Well, for our purposes, we'll say nobility because we know what we mean. I have a GURPS China thing that I will double check at some point. Yeah, so that's one of those things. It'll take you a little bit to kind of find the people in the know, particularly when it comes to the corrupt eunuchs, because this is close enough to Zhenkang and which I hope I pronounced correctly. It's close enough to there, and there's enough people coming through that the tongues tend to be a little bit wary when it comes to discussing, in particular, the eunuchs themselves. So that's kind of some of the things that you're doing. Lone Sparrow, are there specific things you're working on now, or just sort of going with the flow?
I suppose I'm going with the flow because right now I've just kind of got to balance a potential domestic terrorist situation.
Like one does.
Like you do.
God.
Okay, and Pale Orchid?
Yeah, just collapsed on the bed. I think she just wants to bury herself in her non-fighty work for now.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, also, one thing I wanted to do, because I think last time you got 5 more glory for the sword.
Yes, I did.
I actually think we should probably double the cultivation you get from it. For the evil thing, otherwise it will take like 10 of those things to happen.
I totally forgot I'm supposed to up my points. Yeah.
Yeah, so at least as far as the one that is that's raising it up, that can give you the corrupt chi. So we can also use it on things that aren't directly related to the sword, but just when you kind of show some, being a little more brutal, which may be. Did you want that to be kind of a newer thing for that hadn't been like that before?
Yeah, maybe it's it was small to begin with, but there was like a seed there, and this is just it's like enhanced, I guess.
Okay. So one thing I would like to do is, since we're going to be having a lot of stuff around the Auspicious Petal and other places, I would like to meet some of the other courtesans to have an idea for them.
Yeah.
So I can either I don't know if you're able to look at either the Kumu or the Trello. The Kumu's got pictures of all of them.
Nice.
And the Trello's got some basic information. I figure we just have at least a quick scene where each person will end up choosing one, and I can come up with specific questions. Oh, the doggy.
Right, please.
Hello,
I love every single time a dog appears, it just no matter even if in halfway through the most honey, I would like it to. Oh, a dog!
Oh my God! Cry!
and you look upon your dying son's face and who's your good puppy?
God.
Puppy?
I swear, they're quiet for like 20 minutes at a time, and then Ripley makes a noise, and then every dog in the room suddenly decides that it needs to immediately begin doing actions.
Yeah, definitely heard them.
Like, Ripley and Rocco are now play fighting on one side of the room, and Duchess has taken the moment of confusion amongst them to splay herself across my lap.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, that's really funny.
So I figure we can each have a quick scene with one of them, and I either, if you can come up, if you have like a specific thing that you want to declare, or otherwise I can kind of come up with a question like why, how did you two start getting along, or what rubs you wrong about this person, or what was the secret you discovered about so and so. That gives us an opportunity to help make them come a little more alive and make it more than just y'all at the pedal.
Duchess, I love you, but I did not mean my face bitten at.
Didn't you? Didn't you?
You're posted up like a kickstand.
Just happy to see you.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, first we resolved the, Pale Orchid showed up blood-soaked.
Yeah. I
Thing.
think that's right where we stopped, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
Yeah, so as I recall, you two were talking, and in comes Pale Orchid, covered in blood.
Which
Yeah,
even in the Wulin, that isn't normal. Most fights don't end up with full-on bloodshed, right?
It happened. I mean, to
People
the level that you're
swords
probably
and
covered.
shit.
I'm sorry?
So people are swinging swords and shit.
Yeah.
You figure sometimes you get cut.
But, most of the ones don't end up in death, right? So, it's never, life-threatening, serious injuries.
No, the book says a lot of these fights either end in death or retreat.
Oh, okay. Cool, never mind then.
Wulin is a serious business.
Yeah, as soon as I see you in the doorway, covered in blood, I immediately like stand up, rush over, and before I even check to see how you are,
Hey,
just
you.
wordlessly like out back. Nope, out the front door, using my body to like, and cloak to kind of like shield you from view, and like going around to like the back door. Like,
Just look at like an elderly couple and it's like, nice day, isn't it? While trying to hide me.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. She's you know, I don't know.
Hey, you
I don't
too.
know. I was about to say, do you know when you get high? I don't know if everyone gets high.
I've tried edibles like once, and they did nothing for me.
So basically, she's just gone through like a huge adrenaline rush, and now she's on like a huge like downturn. So she just like looks exhausted and she's not fully like cognizant. So she's just like following you. It's like not struggling or anything.
It's time for the shut up treats.
Maybe not fully aware of her surroundings.
Yeah.
So you're still in shock from not shock,
Yeah,
but just like
basically.
taking the woman and
It
getting
was
her.
exhaustive. Yeah, because that was a fight. Like she's rarely gotten into those fights where she also gets the shit kicked out of her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I like don't see anything, and like, I ask like, would you be more comfortable if someone else attended to your wounds?
I think she says, "What? Oh, am I woot?" She looks at herself and it's like, "Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine."
No. We need to check. Are you comfortable with me doing it, or would you prefer I step out?
She ponders for a while and then says, you've seen a lot of people. I guess it's fine.
Let me know
Not
if you're.
that there's anything wrong with that or anything.
Give you like a sad laugh. I understand. Just let me know if you get uncomfortable at any moment. And I like check you for wounds. How fucked up are you again?
I got
Like, did you actually get cut?
a few ripples? I don't know if like. Yeah, sure, maybe. Like, I don't know what. Can't even remember what weapons he was using. Was he just using?
He had tiger claws, basically like
Oh
Wolverine
yeah,
claws.
yeah. Then I probably got cut some places.
Okay. Then yeah, I just like bandage you, clean up the wounds, give a sigh. Thankfully, they all seem to be pretty shallow cuts. You should be okay. Just don't push it. And you're my friend, Pale Orchid, but you need to understand that our establishment runs well because we maintain an image. Both yours and mine employment will be more precarious if you show up on the doorstep bleeding like that, or stained in blood. Try to be a little bit more discreet in the future, or...
Round
gl-
the back. I understand.
Exactly. And maybe at a time when people aren't around, although thankfully it's been a quiet night.
Right. Okay.
And give you like a little pat on the shoulder. Well, in any case, I'm glad you're safe. Do you want to talk about what happened? Should I get Lone Sparrow in here? Anything anybody needs to know?
No, it's okay. Just you should see the other guy.
The other guy?
Yeah.
Did someone came with you?
No. I mean that the person who tried to fight me, I beat them up. It was good.
Oh. Well, I know you certainly can handle yourself. Just, do you think he followed you here?
If he did, then I didn't notice. But I'm sure he ran away with his tail between his legs. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm like, you're like, you came in, you were like, not catatonic, but just like, out of it. I'm like, okay, why don't you go get some rest? Immediately go back out to the lobby. Like, Lone Sparrow, we have a situation.
When don't we?
So, our lovely friend Pale Orchid got herself in the scrap. She seems to be alright, but she wasn't quite responsive, really, for a little bit. And she says she didn't notice if she was followed, but just keep an eye out, if you will.
As always.
I appreciate it. You know I don't look for trouble, right?
I'm starting to doubt that. I was trying to believe it in the beginning, but now I believe that, if somebody were to walk up and tell me that the reason she's a mess right now is because you managed to flirt with somebody, I'd just straight believe it. You don't even have to give me any proof on that one.
I think this might be the straw on the camel's back with all the flirt jokes, and so he gives you a look and is like, "Do you seriously think I would play with people's hearts in a way that would cause harm to anyone like this?"
You were flirting with a terrorist we were actively trying to apprehend.
You say flirting as if it is one blanket thing, as if light flirting is the same as heavy flirting, physical flirting the same as the flirting of the soul. It is a multitude of things, and yes, I was trying to form a connection because I think that those people will be more valuable as, perhaps not allies, but better than trying to clean up after all of their fires. Perhaps we could try to form a rapport, and sometimes a rapport of the body is the most powerful one there is.
All I can say is it's your wheelhouse, not mine.
Fair enough. Well, I'll keep an eye out on the other side, around the back, and you can watch the front.
Alright.
Alright, and yeah, I think I just post up, I don't stay up literally all night, but I keep watch for a solid 2 or 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Fairly quiet, fairly standard. No one kind of unusual who shouldn't supposed to be there kind of comes in.
Alright. Great.
So I'll say it. Lone Sparrow. If you want to, I don't know if you're either on the Kumu or the.
I have
Truma.
activated the Kumu.
Okay, so if you want to check out courtesans, if you want to
Just check out the courtesan from the library.
It's just a library, man. That's all it is. I thought women libraries were illegal.
we have binders.
Oh my god!
How do you keep them so neatly organized?
you gotta press
Oh
the
my
very thing.
god!
Oh wait, you thought it was just pictures of? No, it's the body.
No, it's literal people. It's sort of like a zoo, except we got them flat pressed into binders.
Oh my god!
It is.
Have you ever seen Westworld?
No, but now I don't!
No idea for a dystopia. Let's go.
Did you ever see?
I still need to watch.
Did you ever see Blade 2?
They made a second Blade?
There were
made
like
3?
4 Blade movies.
Guillermo del Toro.
What the hell?
Guillermo del Toro.
What the fuck? Is it good?
The second one's actually really good.
Yeah,
Alright,
it's been a
go
long
into my
time.
library catalog, see if they have Blade 2 on DVD.
Ryan Reynolds is in it.
That's the third one.
No, he was in Blade 3,
Then which?
and he was trying very hard to make that a better movie than it was.
To be
I'm
honest, he was
thinking
the
of
best
the one
thing about it.
where
Like-
the vampires have like the human blood farms, but except like the humans are like vacuum packed.
Yes, yeah, that's it. That's number
And
3.
they only get the maximum amount of people.
Oh, they only have Blu-ray! Oh, nope. Here we go. Anyway.
I'm trying to remember which one it is where Dracula walks into a comic shop.
That's the third one. That's the third one.
But I guess I like the third one.
Dracula.
It's like Dracula walks into a comic shop and sees horrible Dracula comics.
Oh my god.
So good.
What
Did we just,
I am looking to find.
did we
those
just hit the
comics.
start Blade watch through podcast?
I like that whole scene exclusively for like this. It's not an Easter egg. It's a bit of set dressing that happens to be in there. There is a little-known comic that was published around that era called Serenity Rose, and there is an advertisement on the door for Serenity Rose issue 1.
That's
Well,
So like someone had a friend who was production designer.
Well, it was little known at the time because the production company wasn't very good. But the guy who published it, Aaron Alexovich, had just come off the high of working on Invader Zim.
oh.
He was one of the leads on that,
Huh.
working with Vasquez, and it really shows in his work. I really like it. It's really good, like modern fantasy stuff.
Neat.
I was just shocked that the guy behind Johnny the Homicidal Maniac got a kids cartoon, and I was like, well, this will be interesting.
Yeah, like the three of like Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, Invader Zim, and Serenity Rose read kind of like different versions of the same kind of ideal. Johnny being the highest level of like madness and shit and taste in humanity. Serenity Rose is a couple steps down from that, really tones down the murder, and then Invader Zim is the kids' cartoon. Anyway, if I'm going to pick people out of this human library,
And if you want, if you want to tell me, like how your character sees them, or I can give you a more specific question if you are grasping straws a bit.
like I like Kang Bu, but then like just scrolling through the portraits, like I kind of want to punch Xiao. Like I don't know why, but something about how smug.
Oh, it's that smirk, right? It's that smirk.
There's something about
That's
how
Mr.
smug he
Steal. That's
is.
Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Oh, the wink. The wink.
So yeah, pick one. You can pick one of those two, depending on what answers you want.
Okay, that's a dumb question. Shao is totally on that one. Look, I just want to punch him. He's in. What is the thing that Shao keeps bothering you about?
It's like I imagine it's not only the fact that he's kind of like constantly smiling, like he's not really a person, more like the front of a person or like a caricature of a person. It's the fact that his entire game seems to just kind of revolve around making people feel good, deceiving them, and then stealing all their money. Which Sparrow understands is the literal name of the game here.
Oh, not stealing the money.
Yeah, but...
Earning in with big air quotes.
yeah. Just like he's got the form for it. We could just teach him kung fu, and he could earn money the real way by punching people.
Your whole thing about bringing people pleasure. Have you ever thought about bringing them like unbearable pain?
Look, I'm saying like you can make like maybe 5 people happy in a night. You punch the right guy, you can make a whole town happy for like a week.
I've not finished it, but I started reading a book about sort of a wushu book that mentions it's like the gods bless the town because every town needs someone that the entire town can hate, and they were blessed.
That's a good fucking line.
So Shao Yanlin kind of comes downstairs as you're sort of on your way in. I'm gonna call him Smirky Bastard. Then looks over at you and is like, "Just once, Lone Sparrow. I would love to see you smiling or looking alive and happy. You're allowed to partake, you know."
I believe that is literally against my job description.
Hasn't stopped some of us.
I've noticed.
Sort of smiles. Here's what I don't get. The job you have right now, you obviously searched out or something. You're here, but yet don't seem to enjoy it at all. I mean, I get keeping up the front, but that goes deeper than your eyes.
Imagine you found a job you truly enjoyed. That you liked it so much you'd just do it every day of your life until you died. I call that complacency.
You are-
When you get complacent, you die. You forget about it, you stop swimming, and something gets you.
I know people like you. They come in here. Do you know what they are?
No, but I'm sure you'll tell me.
Of course. They're alone their entire lives. Because it feels like the moment you stop, the moment you decide that you want to settle and maybe be happy for a bit, well, you keep moving. And someday, there's not going to be a place for you to move to.
If that day ever comes, I'll have reached the top. And then all there is to do is defend it.
Being as close as we are to some of the magistrates, they tell us what it's like at the top. No thanks. I'd rather enjoy this life, but I guess defend whatever you feel you need to defend. If you need a break at some point, by all means, I'll give you a discount.
I'll keep that in mind.
You turn, Administrator, then kind of passes by you and goes in and starts basically schmoozing with a new group that's come in. Make a note here, Smirky Bastard.
feel
I
like
love
I've been
him.
accused of being a lonely nerd.
I think you've been accused of being an extremely lonely nerd.
Well, less a nerd, more like, no key. I'm a lonely alpha. I'm not a lonely nerd. You bunch of beta. I've been dropping in on little comic skate arguments and
I'm good, actually.
they're
I'm
so
good,
long.
actually.
Just so.
Anyway.
Anyway. Okay, so like that evening, you are essentially keeping watch on things. Pale Orchid, you are out.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yep.
At one point, though, while all this is happening, a visitor comes by, and this is for Plum. Sheja. Sheja was the one who came to get the get someone back.
Oh, the one I just handily outclassed.
Comes in and is sort of looking around, and like the moment he sees you, makes his way over. So you're the one they put in charge of this.
I smile and nod. I've been lucky enough, yes, to have a hand in running this establishment.
And what's her name? Dingma?
Whose name are you looking for?
Is it Deng, the head of the House of the Blue Orchid?
Wulin.
Daihulin. Okay. Yeah, one of the things is so where the things are at keep kind of altering and shifting. When so it's not where it was. So, Daihulin chose here, across from my place, to set up.
Shrug. That sort of decision is above me, as you probably well know. If you have a dispute with her, I suggest you bring it up with her yourself.
I'd rather bring something up with you.
Oh, I'm flattered.
We both have a fairly good stable. Good group of people, and there are a lot of the nobility and administrators and scholars and the rich who wish to be, well, with us. I think we might work better together than with someone all the way across town who really can't necessarily see what your best interests are here.
Take a seat. And I call for someone to pour us some wine or tea, whatever he wants. I'm drinking tea, and I say, please continue.
Mm-hmm. So the House of the Blue Orchid helped set you up. But we could combine our two pleasure houses here, share in each other's profits, create something both more interesting and ours.
I give a smile and a sad shake of my head. Collaboration is one thing, but I don't see why I would combine with you when I seem to be doing fairly well so far on my own, and especially since that decision is out of my hands. I run the operations here, but certainly those sorts of decisions, as I've said before, those are above me.
So you're okay with people being above you? Someone else calling the shots?
Shrug, as long as I consent to it, and I have.
You didn't strike me as an employee.
Well, I take a look around. I would hardly say that running the operations as a lovely place such as this as merely being an employee, but also, it sounds to me as though you're disparaging the work of some of my lovely people here.
No, your people are lovely and talented and skilled. It's just, some people are employees, and some people are me.
You're not an employee is what you're trying to tell me.
No. I steer my own ship.
Well, congratulations. I hope that your ship continues to sail. Now, I know that perhaps I'm not going to be able to offer you what you're looking for, but in the name of producing good fortune for the both of us, how about, instead of combining, we try to throw an event together for an upcoming holiday? Something for the neighborhood, the community.
I'm listening.
You and we can be in charge of organizing a local festival here in this district. It'll draw off patrons both to our houses, it'll generate more business for all of the other restaurants and shops around here. We can try and just create a good outcome for everybody.
The supine chair and the auspicious pedal working together to bring money and people together? I think that could be kind of interesting. We have a number of ties into the wealthier subjects that you're getting a bit of a taste of. Wouldn't be hard to whisper some word around, get some interest, let some people know in the other classes what's going to happen. Never know who it'll bring.
I smile, and I would love to get to know the neighborhood more. Talk to some of my new neighbors. See what they think of this venture. We can reconvene in a week's time or so and see what we've been able to set up. see if we'd like to continue. How does that sound?
Excellent. It's up and reaches.
Yeah, I shake his hand.
Okay. And I'm going to do this. You can also do the same. It's going to essentially 21. I'm going to see if I can put like a small thing on you, but
Oh.
you're fairly against it, so yeah, it wouldn't be enough to actually discover a passion within you. I mean, even without the defense roll.
Okay. I'll try to.
So I was going to see if I could put a carrot there.
I'll try and put something in front of him.
Okay.
Ooh! Those look like interesting times.
We rolled almost.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Yeah, because what I was thinking was like a little like for him trying to find a seed of desire to split off, but the way you had it, it was unlikely. Which would have meant that we're looking at like he would have needed at least a 40, and with the stuff I rolled, I'm like, yeah, he would not have had a 40.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I've got let's see, awareness plus 10. I've got 30 with interesting times to try to create or discover something in him.
So some of that would depend on what do you. I would describe what it is you think you see, and then that helps determine like how. It will be.
I guess I'm trying to inspire like a friendly rivalry versus like a bitter one. So like friendly rival.
Okay. Yeah, so in that one, it would be, at this point still, are you doing for hyperactivity? Are you thinking like hyperactivity, or are you thinking a...
Yeah, hyperactivity.
Okay. So
Go ahead.
I'll roll to see if he's able to defend against it. The 23 plus a 10 for inspire. Yeah, it won't quite strike, but it would have been a trigger.
Darn.
Yeah, that's why you, particularly courtiers working with themselves, usually they're like a little bit more other stuff to essentially pad out the river.
Yeah.
With that.
Oh, I'm gonna throw those ones in my river, for sure. Oh well, this scene's
Well, this scene will be over.
Oh well.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, he ends up then leaving, and we'll come back. I'll make a note. All right. And Pale Orchid.
Hello.
Who is the other courtesan who kind of dotes on you?
Dotes on me. Maybe Kang Bi, because her picture also has an instrument on it.
Okay.
So we have that connection.
And
Music friends.
how would you describe your relationship?
If she dotes on me, I don't. Maybe she's trying to be quite encouraged. Like she's been in the game a while, and I'm clearly not used to it. So she's kind of like encouraging, but also almost like kind of in the pushy encouraging, you know, like instead of just being like, you could try this, like, go on, do this, try this, like trying to be helpful, but also like pushy helpful.
Okay. You are awoken by your blinds being opened rather aggressively, much earlier than you probably wished.
The sun burns out my retinas.
You are now a blind evil swordsman.
Yeah, she like groans and like rolls away from where the sun's now coming through and trying to cover her eyes slightly.
And she sort of smiles, and she's like, "You've been sleeping for nearly 9 hours."
Is that not normal?
Smiles and kind of goes by, and the you notice that your bloody gears, your bloody clothes have been washed.
She like slowly rolls onto her back and slowly sits up and looks around, blinking and rubbing her eyes, and she's like, "What time is it?"
8:30. And she sort of sits on the edge of the bed and sort of looks at you and goes, "There is a certain type of customer who likes likes to be with someone who is rough, shall we say, a little uncultured."
You're calling me uncultured now?
Well, well, to put it succinctly, the art of making someone feel wanted, desired, and welcome is not your forte. But it could be.
Yeah, she hides the comeback behind her teeth, and she's just like, "What are you trying to say?"
She goes, "I have decided to make you my project.
Project.
I just think that, you could use some help in fitting in a bit better, maybe being a little more successful. I mean, you're beautiful, your talent with music is amazing, but I've seen you falter in ways that they're adorable." But the certain kind of client who actually looks for that, they don't tend to come into a place as, well, auspicious as this. I mean, the young ones, yes, but...
Does me being your project mean I have to get up at like 6 in the morning?
No, God, no. 7.
Great.
We're not up with the sun, but it's shortly after. You want to make sure that well rested. You've got an energy to you. Greeting the day. You don't seem like you enjoy being alive right now.
Her eyes are like fully awake now, and she like slowly nods and comprehends everything that's just being said, and so she like slowly like gets out of her bed and is doing her hair, and she's just like, "So you're saying that you're going to help show me the ropes?"
Well, yes, someone should. I think Pale Orchid just sort of threw you in.
Plum Blossom?
Plum Blossom.
Or Plum Blossom, rather. Plum Blossom just sort of threw you in the deep end, and, well, I'm sure you'll swim fine, but a little bit of help wouldn't be awry.
You can see how she can probably tell this is going to be annoying, but also she thinks about where she is right now and what happened the day before, and she's just like turns like slightly resolute, and it's just like, okay, let's see where this goes.
Excellent. And she sort of smiles. She's like, "Well, first, we have to do something about it kind of like waves in your general direction. This."
She raises an eyebrow.
And cut to Lone Sparrow.
Oh, I love
Sure
that.
is Lone Sparrow.
Mournful Ghost comes into the pedal and up to you. Are you or would you be elsewhere like the next morning?
Probably not elsewhere yet.
Okay. So it comes in and asking after you, and someone comes, finds you, and lets you know.
I'm around to receive him.
Okay. Does the pedal serve breakfast?
Hell yeah.
Okay. So, and he's enjoying some breakfast, and you come in.
Reminder that Asian breakfast consists of nothing we consider breakfast.
So he's got a sausage McMuffin. But he looks over.
Sausage.
No, sorry.
Lone Sparrow.
Yes.
Well, we went to the cave where they had been. They cleared out. There was a small bit of a fight, but it seems like they escaped. They may have left this area. We're going to keep a bit more of an eye out. I have been asked to invite you in to a dinner with Master Flawless.
I suppose this is one of those things where it sounds like an invitation, but it's really more of a... what's the word? It's escaped me. But I will join him.
Yeah. Oh, good. It can't be in order for you, since, well, it would be rude to turn down someone of higher rank than you. But I think what he really wants is to pick your mind a bit about what's going on with the Eagle Talons.
I can figure as much. Yes, I'll accept. Being like...
I hope you do realize that the other Eagle Talons here in town are going to be spared this primarily because, well, they were here and you were...
back at the nest.
Yep. Eyewitnesses are always much more interesting.
I'd expect nothing less.
The smiles. He goes, do you have any idea who's in the running?
Anybody who's familiar with the town can tell you who the two top contenders are.
Well, there's some thoughts that the top contenders might not just be from the Eagle Talons this time. I mean, Lord knows everybody is jockeying to try to show their position.
And they'll run up against the same two walls as everyone else.
Well, depending on who goes after it, those walls might not be as high as you think.
We shall see.
All right. So this evening?
Just tell me where and when.
Sounds good. It lets you know it's Jade Ink. It'll be Jade Ink Manor. That evening, about an hour after nightfall.
All right.
Okay. Plum Blossom.
Hey.
For you. So, in what ways are you going to be trying to search out information on? What's the name?
Western White Tiger.
Yeah, Western.
I think the thing that makes the most sense is to... So Wulin, though, can recognize other Wulin. So I think my goal is to, like, try and see... A, like, do any fresh faces show up at the Auspicious Petal? And B, like, I'll probably try to, like, reach out to... Probably the Mournful Ghost and also, Benevolent Lyn. I mean, Benevolent Lyn is working with me, so I'll probably talk to her first, because she's Wulin, too.
Okay. Yeah, so Benevolent Lyn, kind of like Lone Sparrow, has been guarding the area, started keeping an eye on things, and also has been back and forth a lot with the other Resplendent Phoenix in town. Like, what you've heard, that the Resplendent Phoenix and the Falling Leaves have kind of entered into, I mean, a truce is the wrong word, because while they weren't at war, they were consistently trying to one-up each other. They're actually trying to start to work together a bit, though the rivalry is not, as of yet, like, super friendly, but it, you know, may possibly...
An understanding, at least.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, she is there sort of watching. And it's a fairly... That job is, for the most part, relatively boring because in this part of town in particular, people have a tendency to kind of watch themselves because there are those who are rich and powerful also watching, and you don't often want to piss them off if they happen to be in the area. She goes, Plum Blossom, how can I help? You look bored today.
Bored's not quite the word for it. What do you know about someone named Western White Tiger?
One of the Saint Beasts. People say he lost a great love and is now a wandering swordsman out in the west. Powerful fighter, but beyond that, I mean, I've heard tales. Nothing too much beyond that.
Okay. It's come to my attention that someone's asked me for a favor, and I need to get to him somehow, so if you could just keep your ears open, let me know if you hear anything, I would greatly appreciate it.
Looking for a way to get a message or where he's at?
I think it would be better to speak to them in person.
Let me ask around a bit. Currently, they're speaking enough about who might take over the Eagle Talons that lots of names have been coming up. He wouldn't seem like someone who would go after it, but it wouldn't be hard to ask if people know much about it.
Thanks, that'd be greatly appreciated. Is everything going alright with the society? Things seem to have calmed down enough.
They'd stop looking down their noses at us for 1 minute.
You know, that mournful ghost fellow seems pretty reasonable, at least.
And she sort of gives you a look that you can't quite tell if she's hiding a little bit of a blush. She goes, mournful ghost, a hot-headed idiot. I mean, head's not as deep in the sand as the rest of them, but still.
He's a hot-headed idiot, at least.
She kind of gives you a look and smiles a little bit. She goes, "Are you and he?"
Oh, no, but I do enjoy my conversations with him. You know, clearly he and I don't see eye to eye on larger philosophy, but I think that if there's any way for their society to last and not do harm to this world, it might be through him.
Well, maybe we have to guide him.
That's one way of putting it. I would prefer befriend, perhaps?
She smiles. She's like, the cute ones are hard to befriend. They always have these little ideas of what they're going to do.
Oh, I know! And like, throw back my hair dramatically. Well, anyway, I appreciate you keeping an ear out. I'm glad things seem to... Once there's no blood in the streets, I'm glad we avoided a war.
Oh, so far.
And I have to ask, how are things going here at the Pedal so far? Any complaints? This is my first time managing an establishment of my own, so I just want to make sure I'm getting feedback from everyone here.
The nice thing about a place like this, and especially this location, is that boring is the standard, and it's been boring.
Anything I can do to make it less boring without making it unsafe?
No, boring is good.
Alright. Let me know if anything does come up. I very much want to make sure that all of us working here have a wonderful time. Alright, I think that's it.
Pale Orchid. Or actually, we'll do this. So Lone Sparrow, that evening you go to Jade Ink Manor.
Yep.
And Pale Orchid and Plum Blossom, are you both working that evening?
Yes.
Okay. Give me just a moment to pee real quick and then refill my drink. And then
I'll take the opportunity to say. Back. I love both of your new courtesan friends a lot.
I love them so much. I want to smack both of them, but in the best way.
God? I really like the picture for Wei. It's like, look at that boy holding all those scrolls. I want to get to know him.
Hold on, let me...
Is he the nerd courtesan? Is he the nerd courtesan? He's the poetry nerd courtesan, isn't he?
Oh, he does
Nerds.
poetry.
Oh, but like, he's actually good at it, but thinks he's like he's good, but he still thinks he's better than he is.
Oh, beautiful.
How are the dogs doing?
They've managed to get all the way through their shut-up Kongs. So I don't know what's going to happen next.
What is shut up Kongs?
You fill a Kong with peanut butter and it shuts them up.
Oh, cone. Oh, you said Kong.
It is a Kong.
What's a con?
It's like...
What's a
Okay,
Kong?
like, imagine a snowman.
Okay.
Like, the general shape of a snowman. Except you
Uh-huh.
hollow it out and you make it out of rubber. Then you
Oh!
fill it interior with treats so that the dog can't get in there easily. So it takes him a lot of time to get into it, mostly by chewing it to rechange what the holes in each end are shaped like.
Okay.
Huh.
Huh. So it keeps him digging for a while.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
I think Rocco might have just eaten, like, all 3 of them. He's a fat old man.
Screw the rest of you dubs. These ones are mine.
Beautiful.
Okay. So that evening we have got Pale Orchid and Plum Blossom working on at the Auspicious Petal, and Lone Sparrow. Jane Ink Manor is lit up when you go there. Just looks beautiful. You see like the guard and such throughout there. The torches are blazing. It is. I mean, they're showing that they are one of the larger powers in Magnificent Ink, especially when it comes to the Wulin. And as you go through, there are quite a number of Falling Leaves Society members kind of going about doing their thing. Some of them are hanging out, talking. And you are shown to a dining room with Master Flawless.
Lovely.
Lone Sparrow, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Hi, Duchess.
Drink?
What is it? No. Okay, you gonna sit there? You have to lay down. Good girl. Okay, what was it? I'm sorry.
Oh, he goes, drink? Some wine?
Wine would be fine.
Okay. Pours some wine for you, hands it over. Has some for himself. So, what could you tell of the Fire Doctrine as you chase them? We seem to have driven them out, but we don't know if they are dug deeper in.
If I had to guess, they're more of a mobile operation than anything else.
Did you see any others besides his brother when you went to when you took him there, or followed
Not
him?
recognizable. I believe there were other figures, but I didn't get close enough to tell.
Pity. So chances are they'll be back soon. But at the very least, we found one of their hiding places. But that's not why I called to ask you here this evening. I want to talk to you about Gallant Eagle and the Talons.
It seems to be a popular topic nowadays.
That it is. He's actually stepping down.
He is.
At that point, he kind of nods for a moment. Takes a second, sort of strokes his beard, and goes, "What do you think the chances are that the new leader of the Eagle Talons will rise from within the Eagle Talons himself?"
From within the eagle? Nearly certain.
Nearly certain. I'm aware of more than one rank 2 who are working to prove themselves. I met Gallant Eagle once. Powerful personality. He has a love for a certain sort of fighter.
That's what the philosophy of the Talon is based on. There's a kind of person who belongs the most. At least among us.
And a person he sort of looks over at you and he goes, "Are you trying to seek out this position?"
It would be a lie if I said I will not attempt my hand when the time comes. But I see it more for sport than gain.
Sport. Quite a sport that you're going after there.
Where else would the... It will be a tournament of the greatest magnitude that the Wulin has ever seen. I'd be a fool not to at least take part.
Then I think we have much to discuss. Let's cut to Plum Blossom.
Uh-huh.
Laying on the headphones.
At this point, while you're in there, mournful ghost approaches.
Hell yeah.
Goes, Plum Blossom. I see you're working this evening.
That I am. A pleasure to see you. What brings you here?
You bring me here.
I think this actually catches Plum off guard and, like, lets it blush through. Oh, well.
And then
Okay.
his sorry,
Lets it blush through and is like, oh, well, I'm flattered.
he smiles. He goes, his smile turns a little more of the good kind of vicious
Uh-huh. Yeah.
on there, and goes, the things in the city are seeming to quiet down, at least amongst the Wulin, and it's nice to have a little bit of time to, well, relax a bit.
Of course, and as a friend, I'll make sure that you get the good stuff tonight. Please, would you like something to drink, something to eat?
He goes, I'm drinking quite enough as it is. He's just looking at you the whole time. He goes, but some wine wouldn't be out of hand.
I'll, get us a private room.
Excellent.
And we get a private room and do private room things.
Yep. And
Ding ding! Hell yeah!
No, my flirting is nuanced and has so many reasons.
Hey, one of those reasons is just wanna fuck.
Oh, looks like it's
Ripley, go over there. I'm already covered in one dog. I cannot handle another dog.
Oh, I'll be covered in like 10 dogs. That sounds like heaven.
Yo, dog. I heard you like dogs in
Oh
your
my
dog.
god.
Yes.
So, Pale working. How has this evening been going for you while you're working?
Has Kang been trying to get involved at all?
A little bit. She's been introducing you to people who are a little more who kind of prefer a little less rough edges.
Okay.
To essentially get you a little more used to people who are maybe not quite as savvy, but a little more than
Cool.
base level.
And has Kang dolled me up at all?
Yeah.
I guess she's been like talking to a few people that Kang's introduced her to and things like that. But like more than anything, she's been trying to observe, which is what Plum Blossom told her. Like the big thing was to do was like observe before like engaging more than anything else. So she's been on the lookout, and just like looking at people and trying to read them and see if there was anyone that she felt she could like read the most and try to like get the most benefit off it, I guess.
Okay. So you've been kind of doing that and sort of talking. And at one point, as you go by the bar, there's a voice kind of calls directly to you, and you hear, "Finery becomes you, but you are made for rougher stuff."
She turned.
You turn, and Hooded Cobra is sitting at the bar with a drink.
Oh, you see, like, her eyes widen just a little bit in almost like anger, but then it just like goes down a little bit, and like still in like work mode, she like puts on a little bit of a smile and goes over and says, "Oh, so you have a good idea about rougher stuff then?"
I believe I was treated quite strongly to it.
Oh, were you saying you enjoyed it?
No. However, I'm not used to losing. And I thought you were someone who lucked their way into, well, something great. What I see is, and he's sort of looking in your eyes, he goes, "I see there's something within you that called to it." It's thought by some that the swords sometimes choose their own holder, or wielder. So what I want to know is, do you have it inside of you to do what Grievous Distance did?
And what exactly did he do?
Conquered. Demolished. Nothing stood in his way.
Did you know him?
Not till the end. Knew of him. I admire someone who's willing to take what they want. And I tried that and failed, but you fight like a demon.
So why are you here right now?
Because being your enemy seems to be the wrong thing. I want to help you.
You sound a little bit like Red Eagle.
Eye kind of goes up a little bit. You've met Red Eagle.
Like you, he found me. It seems like all of you find me instead of the other way around.
You don't seem to be searching too hard
Mhm.
for us. You, on the other hand, there's a certain look in your eye that tells the bright people who are looking. Well, and your sword doesn't hurt. Amongst a certain type, that sword is well known.
Oh, I'm sensing the type. Do you know? Did Pale Orchid get the name of the guy that she kicked the shit out of the day before?
I think the friend, the Spectre with no
Is that
tongue.
what he said?
Yeah, that's I think what the friend told
Okay.
you.
Do you know anything about the Spectre with no tongue?
Know of him. We've encountered each other in the past. Quiet sort, but terrifying at times. Had you encountered him?
Yes, we had a run in, and I think she like pulls her collar down just a little bit to show like bandages underneath.
She goes, I'll take it from the fact that you don't look worse that you did better
Well, he's the one who ran.
than he did. That is a rare thing. So, he kind of looks at his glass of wine.
Is he offering or is he asking for one?
He's
Okay.
offering.
She nods and goes, if you're paying for it.
Certainly. Lone Sparrow.
Yep.
So Master Flawless takes some time. He goes like, what I would like is perhaps a friend in the Eagle Talons. Maybe someone who might have an opportunity of taking over. You seem the right kind of driven.
But it's a tall order.
It is. However, with a bit of help and some support, I believe it might be possible to see you do some great deeds that would get the attention of the correct person. I know the chances of the falling leaves taking over is slim to none. His thoughts on our more traditional aspects are not unknown to us. But things are changing. And it's good to have friends who might become powerful. I've seen your speed. You don't get that without a tremendous amount of dedication.
That's what you do in the Talon. You dedicate yourself, you work for it, and you reap the reward.
Quite a few that don't dedicate themselves to the same degree you seem to. Now, this is a long shot for both of us. But I have, and he kind of like waves his hands around him. I have resources that can help you get known. And I'm looking for a friend.
Now, it seems foolish to turn down such an offer, but you must know that should I succeed in under the smallest possibility, that it would not be the fallen leaves who are leading the Talon.
Are you a member of the Fallen Leaves?
No.
Then of course I knew that. If you became member of the Fallen Leaves, if you became head of the Eagle's Talons, anything you would owe us would start to become, well, secondary and lesser simply because of the responsibilities you would bear. I'm not looking for a lackey. Putting a lackey in charge of one of the pillars would be foolish. A friend, however, people who've helped each other when chances were slight, those friends tend to be good ones.
Then why me? Why not back a surer shot?
To see the speed you have at such a young age, you move faster than quite a few who are of higher rank than you. And that tells me that as you become more powerful, you'll be something truly frightening. I mean, if you look around, I've been teaching Falling Leaves and leading them for decades. I know potential when I see it.
What would you want in return?
The good thing about making friends is I'm not necessarily looking for anything particular in return, just there's someone who I've known and worked with who ends up at one of the higher tables. Perhaps the Falling Leaves and the Eagle Talons can also be friends. I'm entering into this at a risk. Well, risk is the wrong term. No tangible expectation of reward. Just two people helping each other.
I believe I understand what you mean.
Are you going to be a bodyguard at a pleasure house for much longer?
Until this business with the doctrine is done in the city, or until the nest calls me home.
A lot of glory to be found going against the doctrine. Foreign invaders, terrorists. One way to make a name. I have people looking for Red Eagle or others who might be in the city. If we find them, do you want in?
I do, I think. Just to see what they have to offer.
Certainly. This call for some more wine? And Plum Blossom.
Yeah.
In the aftermath, as you're sitting there speaking with Mournful Ghost, he lets you know, he goes, I have a feeling there's going to be a struggle within the Falling Leaves.
Should I be sorry to hear?
I think if Far Faction is able to take control in the hearts of the rest of us, I think it'll be good. They mean well, they're tied into the world that we don't live in anymore.
Well, I hope you understand that your society and I don't see eye to eye, but as far as it goes, I very much prefer your philosophy, and I think you and I have much more in common than I've had with anyone else in the Falling Leaves.
Sort of smiles, he goes, I think you probably meant more of the older...
Oh my god!
Is a good deal of the younger ones are less stodgy. Not completely unstodgy, but a little more open to the world. We're trying to make that more common.
A good thing. No one who can't change with the world will survive for very long.
Well, trying to tell Flawless that, but he believes he's closer to his name than he should.
I've certainly met many people like that. No, if you truly thinks he's a lost cause, I mean, you think he's really going to be around that much longer? Perhaps you don't need to feud so much as just wait?
He smiles, he goes, Our kind live a long time. And Master Flawless is a powerful fighter. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. He's probably not rising up too much higher. He's been very useful here in town, not being up at the very top.
What?
So, may I ask, why are you telling me this, knowing that I have connections to the Phoenix?
Kind of looks at you for a moment. He goes, I believe it's possible for the Falling Leaves and the Phoenix to be better friends than we've been in the past.
I give him a smile. You know, that makes me very happy to hear. I would very much like to see a more united, not just city, but in all of the land. If these two societies can come together, that would put an end to a great deal of strife.
He goes, I am, well, in your own interests, if you think it's worthy. If you might be able to get me an in to speak with them. Because then he does this moment, he goes, but believe me, this is nothing to do with what happened earlier. And what might happen again soon.
I'd like to roll, is it Wu Wei? It's Wu Wei to tell if he's lying, right? Yeah, I'm gonna roll Wu Wei. I mean, you're cool, dog, but... Alright. Alright, that's, 35.
He's into you.
Cool. He's not lying. Cool. Alright.
Correct. Yeah, he's into you. This just also happens to be something
Sure.
that he might be able to
Yeah.
help with.
I think I give him a smile. I say, nothing would delight me more. This sounds like exactly the sort of thing that I myself would want to broker.
He has a moment. He goes, "Nothing would delight you more."
I give him like a quick kiss. You know, I like the people who have the confidence to snark back. Some people get intimidated by, just how pristine I am. I give him like a sardonic smile, like I'm not.
He goes, "Pristine. I've seen the face."
I think you need some more wine.
And cut to Pale Orchid.
I love them. I love the two of you.
I love mournful ghosts.
Cool.
So, we left off. You're having he ordered a glass of wine and handed it to you from the bartender. He goes, "Why are you here?"
You mean in this working here, right?
Working here. You have gone into sword hell. You have taken one of the great weapons of the Wulin, and here you are. You don't take something like Cruelus Lin without some idea of what you're doing.
Maybe I did it because
For
I
a reason.
could.
If you did that because you could, if you went into the it's Heavenly Sword Society.
Yes, HSA.
Okay.
So it might be a
Alliance.
That's it.
You risked the Heavenly Sword Alliance going into one of the most secret places, stealing a great and evil weapon just because you could. It boggles my mind why you would be employed. You could take what you want.
She drinks some wine and says, "Is there a reason why I should tell you the truth? I mean, just the other day you were trying to kill me."
I was trying to hurt you and take the sword. Killing you was not number one on my list of things to do, but you have truly owned this sword. And I believe that perhaps fate intended you to have it. I'm just curious to see what happens at this point. The sword's not meant for me. Well, maybe the person it's meant for will be interesting to watch.
I'm sorry, are you a fan of me now? She has like a small smile on her face, just like.
Smile. He's just gonna smile. He goes, "I think your potential is very interesting, and I want to see where you're going." You know that soon the war that's going to break out in the capital will happen here, probably before it happens in the capital.
Are you suggesting that I have influence in it?
At the capital?
No, just with the war in general.
No, I'm saying things are about to become much more interesting here in Magnificent Inc. There will be the army fighting in the streets. They might ignore people like us, but they might also try to press us into service. I look forward to seeing that.
Who do you align yourself with? You don't
Align
seem
myself.
like Fire Doctrine, but you say a lot of the same things.
Do we? I haven't really known any fire doctrine. I align myself with myself. I live, I take what I want. I go where I find is interesting, and right now, I'm interested in your story.
I take that back. You sound more like Sword Bastards lot.
Smiles is there's worse company I've been compared to.
Look, I'm not gonna tell you much about why I did it or anything, but the thing that I plan on doing right now is just settling in and hopefully finding information about cursed swords in general.
It's not a bad place to find out about cursed swords. I met a scholar. She knew quite a bit. I can send her to you.
What's her name? Did I just make the GM come up with a name?
No, you're making the GM try to remember her name. It's her. I'm looking for. There we go. Zanki.
Oh no, we're already acquainted. Yes.
How are you? Well, smaller world every day. Well, I wish you luck. And I'll be watching. If you ever need a hand, by all means.
But if you ever
call
find
out.
any more scholars that aren't the one we already know, then let me know. Other than that, telling people you'll be watching them is quite creepy, right?
Sort of smiles. He goes, perhaps that's why I was never a good friend.
Thank thank you for the wine. And then I think he turns away.
Okay. And question for y'all: are we okay if we end here soon? Because I have to email a parent soon, which I don't want to happen.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sounds like a suck. Yeah, sure.
We had we had a student going a little bit nuts the other day, because something was essentially the same as someone else's. Same idea is different enough, and she threw a fit before I had a chance to talk to her about it. And the mother emailed me today, and I haven't looked at it yet because I set myself an alarm to do it tonight.
Yeah.
Because this morning I was like, fuck it, I'm not even going to take a look at it
Yeah, I
yet.
can imagine.
And the girl's like, did you see her mom's email? I just wanted, a part of me wanted to be like, oh, go to hell.
What is it?
Anyways.
What is it, Rip?
I do have some new things that I need to put the actual points on them, but some stuff I'll be adding to the lore sheets that I put into some prep. Let me... Actually, let me go ahead and add that here momentarily. Oh, damn it. So I don't have points for it yet, but I've thrown a few things down
That's fine.
at the bottom, and I'll throw points in there probably in a
Oh,
couple
the
days.
adventure lore sheet bit?
Yeah.
Enable administration ally / enemy. Sweet. Choose me. Choose some stuff. What's the supine chair?
Oh, that's the other pleasure house nearby. That's
Where's the lore sheet for we throw a really pleasant neighborhood party?
Oh, that and nothing problematic
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to come up with something like happening during during.
Oh, yeah, totally.
There's
Totally. Yeah, no, you pushed my, neighborhood board of mercantile weird interests button. A rare button.
I was not expecting that to go that way.
I
was like,
literally have been thinking about, reaching out to this dude to try to organize a collaborative event, and then you came to me trying to smash our things together, and I was like, close, but no cigar. God.
Fire doctrine gets impatient. Receive mature content. Traitor. See. Easy war situation.
So are there any other scenes you want to do, or are we just doing lore sheet stuff now?
I'm able to do lore sheet stuff.